All right, folks. Welcome back to Stream Catchers. One half of your host speaking here, AB, along with.
It is I, your boy, Jack. What's going on?
That was new. Oh man, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. We are on the last episode of season one of Bad Batch, our season finale. It feels like it took forever. Felt like it took
For
five ever to get to
sure.
this.
16
Um,
episodes was a lot.
It was a lot, especially considering there was so much filler, but we will get into everything here in a bit. I have a lot I
Yep.
want to riff on. I'm sure you do too. Let's just
Yeah,
really
yeah,
quickly do quick hits and then we'll do thoughts and riff and all that. So
yeah. Absolutely.
we picked up right where we left off on episode 15. If you remember, the Empire had shot at the Tapoka City on Kamino with the Batch and Crosshair still locked inside the combat room. So we pick up right there where they are inside the main city hub. It's submerging very quickly underwater. So they got to work together to escape and get out. There's a point where Omega and AZI have to help get Crosshair outside of some structures that are pinning him down. And yeah, they work together. They get out. They escape. Crosshair sort of returns the favor and helps save Omega and AZI, and that's it. They get out. The batch goes their way. Crosshair stays behind. Says he wants to stick with the Empire, even though they tried to kill him.
hmm
Um, we did get one shot of Nala Se being brought to the Empire, and they allude to some plans that the Empire has for her. That's really all that they gave us on that.
hmm
That was that. That's the episode. So, Jack, what did you think?
Pretty simple episode for the finish line. Um I felt like going into this there was going to be much more. I thought there was going to be some sort of shootout, maybe in a little bit of an allusion to like a new, not war, but a new conflict between two factions, kind of a smaller thing. And what we got was sort of just a bit of a survival episode.
Yeah.
And it was a little bit soured for me because nothing has changed. Everybody lived. Everybody's still on the same side they were on. They didn't get Crosshair back. The episode itself was good, but as a finale, I think it was a little lackluster.
I agree 100% with literally everything you said. I think
Yeah.
it was a good episode, and I think that there were points where I thought somebody might not make it. So I was
It
definitely
was
on the edge of my
exciting. It
seat.
was really exciting. They did a good job at it being exciting, but like as far as fitting into the grander scheme of things, it didn't there were no game changers, there were no surprises, there were no fights, there was just no conflict really. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say there were points where I thought maybe, so it kept me on the edge of my seat. And then when it seemed like that's all, folks, I was like, all right, okay, kind of an underwhelming anticlimactic season finale. I think some of the expectations I had might have been a bit grand as far as a big team up, big final shootout battle. But yeah, it was a little underwhelming to say the least. And I agree, they didn't do anything to really change anything. There was really no development anywhere. I mean, Omega developed throughout the show. We saw her grow into her own a bit, and that's kind of it. There was really no allusion to season two outside of that whole Nala Se being taken to the Empire, but it
Yeah.
sort of leaves you to believe that Crosshair is going to end up back with the Empire and have to chase them down again. So very underwhelming, and it doesn't make me at all excited for season two. I don't at
I'll
all.
be so bummed if season two opens up and the batch is still doing missions for Sid. We need to move away from that so bad. Like I get that it has functions, how they're making money, it's how they're eating and everything, but it doesn't lend itself to good TV.
It really doesn't. And I mean, if they're going to do something with that story, if it's going to lead somewhere, fine. That's okay. But yeah, if it's just going to be episodes where they have to go to some random planet and save some prime minister from the empire, and that's the episode, folks. See, I, I can't say that I'm going to want to do this again next year. Just to be completely honest with you,
Yeah.
my wish list for the Bad Batch season 2 is less episodes and
Hmm.
make each episode connect to the next. Now, that's not to say that, if there's 10 episodes, that episode 4 has to be fantastic. Just have it mean something in the bigger context of the story.
Right.
If you look at any show, right, let's take Stranger Things, for example, there's 8 episodes a season. Not every episode's better than the last. There's good episodes, there's okay episodes, but those okay episodes still end at a point where you want to watch the next episode. They make you excited to keep going. They weave in
Exactly.
together. It's not just like, here's a side mission. It all works together. And I think that, sure, I could have managed my expectations a bit better going into this, but we've talked about this many times. We went into the show having come off of season 7 of Clone Wars, where it was 10 episodes, and there were 2 big stories being told that took 5 episodes each. And it was done on such a grand scale, even for an animated show, that you felt like you were watching this big thing. And so expecting that to get something that was just not that, I am very let down with this show. I will say. I'm
Yeah,
not excited
and
for season 2.
the way that it's releasing week to week, I mean, week to week TV watching really thrives on cliffhangers and stuff like that. And this show just didn't do that enough. They did it like twice. I think they might have done it twice, and
A few
it was
times,
just,
more than twice, about 4 or 5
was it?
times.
Okay.
Out of
I
out of
don't know.
16 episodes, that's not good enough.
Right. Right. We need
So
one overarching. We needed more focus. We needed more direction. They brought up a bunch of characters, and that was like the best part of the show. But I don't even think they needed to have those characters if they just could have had a more exciting overarching plot line.
I agree. Right, bringing in Cad Bane was a lot of fun, and that made for a great moment.
Hmm.
And maybe you did need Cad Bane as part of a larger thing, but you probably didn't. You probably could have got away with just having this be something where Crosshair just keeps on missing out on the batch, or maybe he gets his hands on
Yeah.
Omega and they've got to go and get her, or maybe he captures Tech, and they got to go save Tech, or something like that. There was never a point where you felt like they were in true peril up until the very end. And if there
Hmm.
was a point where they got to true peril, like the episode where Omega was captured, it was resolved the next episode. Instead of letting
Hmm.
it breathe and giving it time and really seeing more emotion from the characters, it was just like, well, we got her back, and then let's go do some more side missions. What?
Yeah. My hope for season 2, because we do know at this point that there is going to be a season 2. My biggest hope is that they learn, what worked and what didn't work with this show, and season 2 can come back a lot better than season 1.
I agree. There are some things that worked. I think we
Hmm.
talked about it. Some of those surprise characters was fun.
Hmm.
Seeing Omega's growth was fun. There were points where, yeah, when you finally got to a Crosshair episode, it was enjoyable. Um, I think that they did a good job early on with the whole Wreckers chip. They let that breathe a bit, right? There were a few
That was a good
moments,
one. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
really good one.
they let that breathe a bit, and so more of that, right? More of that, less of just doing a mission for Sid, coming back and, oh, here's Roland Durand and the Pike Syndicate, and
Yeah.
less of that, less of that, more sticking with the core parts of the show.
So we talked about in the weeks past, we were hoping that Crosshair would get some sort of redemption arc, and I guess we sort of see that in this episode a little bit. How he uses his net his net grapple gun, whatever that
Yeah,
is,
that he
to
happened to
save.
have in this exact
Yeah,
point.
yeah, he uses that to save Omega and AZ. Um, but then even shortly after that, they get up to the platform, and then they're hashing out their differences again, and how they're not going to be, well, Hunter says they don't have to be enemies, and I think that Crosshair just kind of shrugs that off because he's full Empire. But I wanted to end on this. What is Crosshair supposed to do now? He's just on the. I guess he could activate some beacon to be saved by the Empire. But like, what's he supposed to do? He's still stranded. I thought that he was going to have to go with the Bad Batch out of necessity because he got nowhere else to go. How is he supposed to survive on this landing?
They did allude to we got to go now before the Empire does a sweep and comes and looks to make sure that we're
Okay.
all dead. So I would assume the Empire will send some ships down and they'll see he's there. But if not, yeah, I agree. Like, what is he? There's nothing. There's no way for
I
him to get
guess I
off.
missed that.
It's just kind of like, all right, well, I
Yeah.
would have been like, yo, can I bum a ride? Can you take me to Tatooine or something? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think I don't want to say I'm disappointed that nothing really happened with Cross. I mean, I guess it's good that he didn't die. We had sort of predicted that that would happen. Um, and I'm okay with him not just rejoining the batch and everything is fine now, you know. But I would have liked something else, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He just sort of almost reluctantly said, "I'm going to stick with the Empire." It did seem like he um, might jump on the ship with them for a second there at the end, but it closes and they fly off. So
Yeah.
I thought that it would have been a cool thing for him to rejoin the Bad Batch, and then we have that sort of dynamic going into season 2 where he's trying to relearn how to be around them, and maybe there's some
Mm-hmm.
conflict with him and Hunter, or you know maybe he doesn't quite get along with Omega too well, or Wrecker, or something along those lines. But I guess I just don't really know what to expect with Crosshair next season.
Right. They've given us no hints to what their relationship's going to be like next season. You know, I mean, he could just be, Crosshair could not be in season 2, and it might even be better. You know, it's like, not that I dislike Crosshair, but just like this conflict is stale. It's old. It's done. What else can they do with it?
And they really didn't move it forward at all. You're right, because
Exactly.
he never caught them. I mean, he kind of did, but it forced them to have to work together, and they didn't turn him. He didn't kill one of them. That he didn't die. It didn't move forward at all. Right? There's nothing to say that we're in a different spot now than we were in episode 2 or 3. It's just that we're still apart, and he's still with the Empire, and we're still kind of on the run. And it's
Right.
I don't know. We'll see. I agree though. Like he could just straight up not be in season 2, and I don't think it would make much of a difference.
Right. And the only hint that we have for next season is that the Empire has plans with Nala Se. And I gotta tell you, I don't know what the hell that could be. I mean, the only thing, like, she's good for like cloning technology, and I realize that Emperor Palpatine's gonna need that eventually. But is that really gonna be what Bad Batch season 2 is about? I sincerely doubt it.
I don't see that happening. Yeah, I have no idea what could be the case. I mean, I could see them doing some. I mean, she's supposedly a brilliant mind, so they will probably put her to work in maybe some sort of weapons division or something along those lines. And I could see season 2 being about that they have to save her somehow, or go and get her or rescue her, or maybe they
Yeah.
use her as a means to draw them out. I don't know, but I also don't feel like they're super high on the Empire's radar either. We would
Right.
assume the Empire presumes them dead, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no predictions for season 2.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that as far as enemies of the Empire go, Saw Gerrera's group would be higher on that list. You know, the rebelling clones would be higher on that list. Whoever Rex is with would be a bigger target. I don't know. I
Ahsoka.
don't know what's. Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that they think that she's dead. I would assume that.
I think Vader
'Cause-
thinks she's alive.
oh, do you?
I think. Well, I don't know because there's that last shot of Clone Wars, that very last episode where he's near her ship and she's not there.
And he finds her lightsabers, her
That's right.
blue
That's right.
ones.
He finds
And
the saber.
he turns it on, turns it off, and there's no lines. It's just kind of ambiguous.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, maybe they think she's dead. Maybe not. I don't think. You know, I don't think it's really even important. But
Yeah,
regardless, I don't think that the batch is high on their list of people they have to seek out and kill.
right.
So I don't
So
know.
I
Very
don't know. Yeah,
yeah, very underwhelming season finale. Very uneven show. Very uneven season. Um, I'm honestly, I'm glad it's over. I really am. I'm glad I don't have to watch it every week.
Yeah.
Which make I don't like saying that because I love Star Wars. I grew up on it. It's one of my favorite properties. Um, I'm looking forward to a lot of the other shows that they have. But
Hmm.
I'll be honest with you, unless we have any indication that season two is going to be more along with what we were hoping for, if there are other shows going on alongside it, I can't say that I feel like we need to watch this and review it every week.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, this has kind of been I mean, we've both felt like a broken record for these last maybe 6 to 8
8 weeks,
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, as for as for the now, um we've got some more episodes of What If to look forward to. That's been fun. We've got Book of Boba Fett, which I think is going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Looking forward to some of that stuff. But yeah, as far as Bad Batch goes, that could kind of blend into the background. I don't really, I don't know that I'm really excited about season two.
No, I will say, if you did not watch Bad Batch at all, it is worth going through and binging as a Star Wars fan. There are some
Mhm.
fun moments. I don't want to make it sound like it's, a really, really bad show that, every episode was pretty compact. It all made sense. It was very straightforward. There was no real plot holes. I felt like it just was in the context. There's just a lot bigger things that we're watching,
Yeah.
and we're more excited to talk about. What If, and we'll have Miss Marvel before long. We'll have Hawkeye before long. Book of Boba Fett. Plenty of movies, and tons of other Star Wars and Marvel content next year that's coming out. There's a lot more larger scale, bigger picture shows that we're more excited about, I think. And this just isn't that. This was just another thing that they needed for content, I think, and it was a fun story that
Hmm.
they could tell. Clone Wars is really popular. Rebels is really popular. This is another way for them to sort
Both
of do something
better
along
shows.
better shows. But this was, I think, their way to continue doing that style while those shows have been wrapped up.
Yeah.
So if you like those shows, this is worth checking out. It is
Hmm.
good. It's
Hmm.
just in terms of a week to week show, it was very underwhelming.
Yep. Yep.
So,
I agree. I agree.
any
Um,
final thoughts or last?
I think that's really everything I want to say about the episode.
Yeah,
I don't want to I don't want to lead on to or end on such a sour note, but yeah, you're right. The show is it's fine, and we would have both probably appreciated it more if we had binged it. I mean, thinking back at of thinking of Clone Wars. I mean, not every episode of that was a banger, but I still hold that in very high regard. So I don't know. Well, maybe after this show is over for a little bit, I'll revisit it, binge it, watch every episode again, and maybe have a little bit higher opinion of it. But right now, I'm glad it's done. I'm glad we made it to the finish line. It has been a blast recording these episodes, but I'm definitely looking forward to the Marvel side more than the Star Wars side right now.
for sure.
The Marvel shows have been very, very fun recording.
They have been fun recording, and I mean, I did have a good time doing this. I'm glad we did it. I think if
Hmm.
anything, it was a really good way for us to grow as podcasters. So
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
I don't regret doing it. I don't regret watching it. I think most people that watched it week to week were also more casual viewers that it was just part of their weekly routine of shows that they watch and probably weren't wanting anything more than that. So if you're in that camp and you enjoyed it, I am glad you did. I hope you did. I think that for people that are looking to make content, it just was kind of uh, a wet fart of a show almost, to say the least. But it is fine. It was fine. I'll say that. And if I was going to place it in my Star Wars hierarchy, I guess list, if from A New Hope all the way to Bad Batch, everything they put out, it would probably be towards the bottom. But it wasn't
Sure.
as bad as Phantom Menace, so I'll take it.
That is true. Well, I'm looking at my notes here. I think we've covered most everything I wanted to talk about. There was something, and I should have mentioned it earlier, but there's a part in the episode where Omega is where they're in Nala Se's private
chambers,
chambers. I don't know, whatever they said. And they said that Omega is older than the Batch, but I don't have that figured out.
Right. So I'm glad you brought that up, because yes, I did write that down as well, and we would have totally forgot about that. We just glossed over it. Because and you said last week, you said there might be one more revelation.
I guess, is this it? Like, that's kind of a crappy revelation, but like, I am curious how that works.
Good for you for predicting that. I also don't know if maybe that was alluded to, because we do know that she was created, right? So I don't know if maybe they had mentioned that, but maybe not so clearly, or if this really was. I think this was that revelation. Mm-hmm. I do know that the clones accelerate and age faster than normal, and she is different than them, right? So
she and Boba both don't have the accelerated aging thing, which is why Boba is an adult in the Empire age. But I don't understand. Okay, so in my head, I don't know why, but I thought that there was a line of dialogue in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, that said that the clones aged twice as fast. Maybe I'm making that up. I really thought it was only twice as fast.
I don't know. I don't remember that. That might have been a deleted scene. I feel like maybe I remember seeing something about that.
I guess that could be too.
We also don't know exactly how old Omega. I don't think it's ever. She could be 11, 12, 13, 14. We don't know. And I don't know. Looking at Hunter and Wrecker and Crosshair and Tech. I mean, Crosshair looks like he's 60, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Hunter looks like he's about 42. Wrecker, who knows? Tech looks like he's in his 20s. So I mean, it's.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just gonna believe them. I don't think it's. I don't know if I really want to put the mental energy.
Yeah, I almost wish they would have explained a little bit more about that point, so that we weren't confused. But that's okay.
They are also different from the regular clones too.
Yeah.
So maybe they accelerate faster than them, or at a different rate, or I think that there's enough explanation that you can at least just believe them and not question it too much. But I don't think that there's a perfect mathematical explanation for how it actually works out.
Yeah, because even Omega says that she helped Nala Se create them, which would mean that she's not like a child.
Yeah, how old is she? Was she like 3?
Hunter's 2 years old.
I don't know what they were thinking with that. Whatever, I guess. Kind of another underwhelming revelation, but I don't think it was necessary. But yeah, you could. I'll give you the kudos for calling it. You made it.
Well, I'm glad that I brought it up, because I thought for a second that I was going to ask you that question. You were going to say something really obvious. I was like, oh yeah, I'm just dumb and completely forgot something. But no, it's almost that's borderline plot hole, I think.
Borderline. Borderline. I think there's enough there, like barely enough there.
Yeah.
Bottom of the barrel information that we can just sort of say, fine, okay. But yeah, it definitely doesn't work out mathematically, in my opinion. It would help if we knew how old they were and how old she was, because then you could at least say, okay, they're 30, she's 13. Maybe you would accelerate 3.5 times faster. Who knows? I don't know, but it's
exactly. Yeah.
Star Wars has so many off-camera explanations as well, that it's really difficult to keep up with everything, I think. So there's probably something on Wikipedia or something that has explanations.
They also very, very, very rarely mention numbers or show writing in the Star Wars universe, which I think kind of makes for good ambiguous lore.
Sure. Well, there it is, folks. That was the Bad Batch.
We did it.
We did it. We made it. I'm glad that we are done with it. But I'm glad we watched it too. It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate to be negative. I'm a positive person. I've said it. I don't like to call these reviews. I like to call them enthusiastic discussions. We had some fun. We had some laughs. We had some good times. We had some bad times. It is what it is. It was fine.
It was okay.
It was all right. It was all right. Well, thanks for sticking with us to the end, folks, if you did. As always, if you want to support the podcast, best way to do so is share it with your friends. If you want to keep up with us, our links to everything, podcast and social media is in the show notes. So check that out. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys next week with another review of What If. Until next time, folks, keep
Yeah.
on keeping on.
And we will catch you later.